I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's so tiny. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about hooks. We're just going to geek out and talk about double-ended Tunisian crochet hooks because I get a ton of questions and, well, I love to talk about crochet stuff. So if it's yarn or hooks or projects or whatever it is, I love to talk about it. It's what I do. So let's talk about it. So the questions I get all the time have to do with where I get my hooks, what kind of hooks I use, whether interchangeable hooks are great, and a whole lot of other questions. So I'm going to try to answer as many or all of them if I can. If I happen to miss your question, just leave it down in the description box and I will answer it in a future video. So the first question I get is where I get my hooks on Amazon. So I get my hooks on Amazon from a shop called Nitpal. So you can see it on these big hooks right there. And I'll link all of this down in the description box below. But all of my hooks, actually all of my Tunisian hooks, I think I can, yeah, every single one of my Tunisian hooks is a Nitpal hook. But I love them. It's a company that's been working out really great for me. And yeah, the owner of the company is fantastic. She reaches out and she gets opinions, and she has created all these wonderful hooks that help create a lot of the projects that you see on the channel. So it has been fantastic. And right now I think she's got some of my patterns on her website as well. So you can go check that out. But these are the hooks I use because these are the hooks I like. I don't use any of the interchangeable hooks. I've never tried them and I've never used them. I'm a big fan of wooden hooks, but that's simply because they don't hurt my hands. So I don't know if a lot of folks have this problem. I know some folks have talked about it, but my joints will hurt if I use the aluminum hooks for a very extended period of time, or any of the plastic hooks. I've also had really bad luck with plastic hooks breaking often. I don't know if I'm just gripping them too tightly or what, but I end up having a lot of joint pain and wrist pain as well. So bamboo hooks have been fantastic for that. They're incredibly light, and they're very soft. Like, I mean, they're firm hooks. It's not like they don't bend or anything, but they're a lot softer than the aluminum hooks. So it kind of helps your grip and everything. So that's why primarily I use the bamboo hooks. It's just a personal preference. Some folks prefer the interchangeable plastic hooks. I mean, it's entirely up to you, but these are the ones I use. So these are, I want to say that these are the 14-inch. I want to say, I might be mistaken. Wait, hold on. There's an easy way to find out. Give me a second. There we go. No, these are the 10-inch. Hey. So this is 10-inch right here on this side, and then these are 6-inch on this side. We'll talk about these here in a little bit. These are the circular hooks, but we'll talk about them in a minute. But these are the 6-inch, and this is the 10-inch. She also has 14-inch and 16-inch. I think she used to have 12. I can't remember though. But that is what is available on the site, at least as of today. That could potentially change, so, you know, get online often and check them out. But they come in sets, and each set includes, it's usually about 6 hooks. So here's one set, here's one set, here's one. Yep. Pay attention to not only the length, but the hook size itself. So this one starts at like 12, it goes to, I think it's like 7, and then there's the next size down. Same goes with these. These are new. So this is the set she used to have for a little bit longer, or I guess a while back. And I think it's like 6, what is it? 6.5. So it's 6.5 to 4. So the biggest hook, 6.5, and then the smallest one, which is here, is the 4mm one. And then she just added these new sizes. So this one is 12, and it starts at 6.5, I think. Let's find out. Oh, 7. There we go. So 7. So it goes from 7 to 12mm, and then this one is super, super tiny. I love these. So let me show you these, because it's the tiniest little hook, and I gushed over it. My poor kid, she's 7, and bless her, she has got the patience of a saint, because she heard me gush about this for hours. Yeah, her mom's a dork. Anyway, so this is 375 is the largest of the hooks, and it goes down to 2mm. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's so tiny. Okay, I'm going to stop there though, because I'm just going to start to squeal, and nobody wants to hear that. But look at it. Just look at it. Okay. You're gonna definitely see these. I'm so excited to make super tiny, like I say tiny, but thin fabric socks. There we go. Using these hooks, and my baby nephew is gonna get so many socks. My poor sister is gonna go insane. But I'm gonna be using these hooks a lot. Anyway, so those are the variety of sizes that she has. Now, yes, you're gonna see a bunch of these different sizes. And the way I try to write my patterns so that you don't feel like you have to get all of these hooks, because after a while it does kind of become an investment. But if you don't want to get all of these different size hooks, you're a beginner or you're just starting, you're not sure if you like it or not, then depending on what you want to do, if you want to work with socks or make hats, so socks, hats, or small items, go with this set. It's the middle set. From, what did I say it was? It was like 6.5 to 4. This is going to be the most versatile set for you because you can do some of the socks with the 4mm hook, and then, you know, you can make some of the hats with this one. If you're a bit more, if you know for a fact that you love to crochet socks and you don't live somewhere cold because you're not going to be making like thick woolen socks or anything like that, you just want to do something thinner, then go with this set. And if you just don't know whether you like Tunisian crochet or not, then go with this, like the 10-inch set, because you'll be able to make a lot more projects with this. So like sweaters, you know, cowls, things like that are just a little bit bigger. This set works, but you can also use them for the socks. So this, you'll have to make slightly thicker socks. Well, hold on, let me check that for sure, because I think this is a 4mm hook. Oh no, see, you're good. Yeah, so this is a 4mm hook. So if you get this set, which is the 4mm, and I think it's 6.5. I should just pick it up. That makes life easier. Yeah, 6.5. So it's the 10-inch version of this set. Yeah, there we go. That was not so complicated. But this one you can crochet sweaters and stuff. Now, if you're more experienced and you know that you love it, then I like to have matching sets. So if I make like a sweater, when I work like the raglan patterns and stuff that you've seen here, I'll usually do the body of the raglan in like with these longer hooks, and then I work the sleeve with the shorter hook. Just because when you're making the sleeves, you can't, when you're working in the round, I should say, you can't go all the way around the project. It just, I mean, physics, like it just doesn't work. So you can only do a part of the project, and then you have to work your return pass, and then a part of the project, return pass, part of the project, and so forth. When you're working with the sleeve, there's only so much space. So a shorter hook will make your life easier, and it'll make it a lot faster, because you can only cast on, I don't know, like 15 to 20 stitches, and you can very easily shift them. So when you've cast them on, you just, and you're ready at the return pass. So it makes it quick, easy, and it saves you time. That said, again, if you're new to this, don't feel like you have to buy all of these hooks. That's a lot of sets. So don't feel like you have to. Go with a larger set and then just go from there. Like, you'll be fine. And then there's the circular hooks. So I'll go into that, and then we could talk about like what it's like working with wooden hooks, the snagging, and all that other all of those other questions I get. Whew, that's a lot of words. Okay, circular hooks. Oh, here, I've got one right here. So this is a circular hook. If you've never seen it, it's got 2 hooks, and they're attached by a cord. Hey, I guess this is like a like circular knitting needles. I have not quite gotten used to these. I have tried using them for a few projects. I even did one of the, what is it, Dylan's raglan? Jamie's raglan? I don't even know. One of the raglan patterns. I used one of these. I ended up breaking it because I think it was just a little bit too rough with it, and I broke the cord, which I then had to glue, and yeah, there was a lighter involved. Don't ask. It was a disaster, and there was melted plastic, but in the end I worked the sweater out, and then I got some of these, so life got better. But I'm not a big fan of the circular hooks. I'm not. I know a lot of people are, but these also come in a set. The thing I don't like about them is, I guess it's mostly the nature of my projects, because I'll either do like a sweater, which is kind of heavy, and these cords don't particularly hold a lot of weight very well, so you'd have to work in small sections, and I'm a lazy crocheter. I just am. I don't want to do like a tiny section about this big and then have to pull it all the way through to get to the other hook so that I can work the return pass. I'm just lazy like that. I'm sure there are other channels that use these slightly differently than I do, and maybe that's what's missing. I just don't know how to use these properly. So, I mean, that is a possibility. But no, for those that like circular hooks, this is also an option. These are also Nitpal hooks, and you can check them out. Now with that, you get these little emery boards, because now we're moving on to the fun, but my yarn snagged complaints that I've gotten before. There's an emery board. It comes with every set. In fact, it comes with this cute little bag. So hey, and here's the company name. So it comes with this cute little bag, and then cool little offer and a community thing for like yarn and tips and really cool stuff. So here we go. And it's also these cute little boards, which you will use. Trust me, you will use this thing. Don't lose it, and don't use it for your nails. Keep it with your hooks. Because the thing that happens with wooden hooks, and whether it's like these that, I think I talked about this a long time ago. This is the one I got from Etsy, but I think that shop isn't in business anymore. The gentleman who used to make these got injured, and he injured his hand, and these are hand carved. So yeah, I don't know if he's still there, but I'll look it up, and if he's still there, I'll leave all the information down in the description box. But he and I talked about this a lot when he was designing this, and it's something I see in wooden hooks, whether it's the Nitpal ones or any other wooden hooks I've used, is that wood tends to splinter. So it just happens. But with these, and I'm using this bigger hook so you can see, there can be moments where this section is a little rough. That's when the emery board comes in handy. And some people complain that, yes, your hook will snag. Again, this is wood. So just file it down and you're good to go. I don't typically have any problems with this at all, actually. And I even have some hooks, because I know I've seen some of the reviews that are like, oh, my hook is bent or whatever. And I don't know if it's this one. But, I mean, they do curve. It's just kind of how it is. It hasn't caused any problems for me. I did have one, which I don't know where it is, but I had one that was a bit more curved than this one. But it hasn't caused me any problems, and I've been able to use it just fine. And for the price of these hooks, like, honestly, it's really not a big deal. I know some folks have said that they have varnished them, or they've done some sort of finishing, like wood finishing, and that it's worked out great. You could try that. I haven't done that with any of these, and they work just fine. And I do use these almost on the daily. Not necessarily these double-ended hooks, but my other Nitpal hooks, because like I said, all of my Tunisian hooks are Nitpal hooks, and they're all these wooden, or I guess the bamboo ones. And I don't have any issues with them. I love them very, very much. So that's why, hey, I'm doing a whole video about them. Another question I get all the time has to do with interchangeable hooks. Now, can I use an interchangeable hook? Yes, actually, you can use any of the interchangeable hooks that you want. I personally don't use them because, again, this goes back to the material and how it affects my hands. Because I crochet for so many hours at a time when I am writing a pattern, like especially on weekends, I'm sitting for anywhere between like, man, I think I've sat up to like 16 hours just straight almost working on a pattern. So that does cause some damage to my hands. After a while, you know, I can't really move my fingers. So that's why I don't use the plastic or the aluminum, and most of these interchangeable sets are either plastic or aluminum, so I don't use them. But if you want an opinion on those, there's a gal, her channel is called the Purple Crochet. She's also left-handed. Hey, so go check her channel out. She uses, I think they're called Denise interchangeable hooks, and I think those are plastic. But she has a lot of experience with those, so go check that out. And you can ask her any questions about interchangeable hooks you want. She's fantastic. She'll answer any and all of your questions. She's super sweet. But yeah, so I can't really answer any of those questions specifically about those hooks as I don't have that experience. But yeah, so it's mostly like the snagging, finishing the hooks, what sizes to use, what to use them for. So as we go through the different projects, not in this video is just going to start getting insanely long if I keep going, but as I'm going through the different crochet projects, at least henceforth, I will try to give you maybe some more options for hooks you can use, or different size hooks. Maybe take an extra, I don't know, just a couple seconds to show you a different hook you could potentially use. But that way I can maybe get everybody a little bit more comfortable working with double-ended Tunisian hooks, and maybe not so intimidated by the variety that there are available out there now, because this is new. Well, not new necessarily, but the variety of hooks that are available now is not something that used to be there. Gosh, not even like 5 years ago. It's probably really taken off the past maybe 2 years, because I think it was this set. I had this set for a few years, but then, you know, all of these other sizes became available, and then you had these circular ones, and it just kind of took off. So now you have a lot of varieties, so don't be intimidated by it. If you have any questions or anything like that as to what hook to use, just shoot me an email. All of my contact information is down below. I'm really super easy to find. I might not answer right away, and if I don't answer your question at all, write to me again, because I get a lot of emails. So just write to me again, and I promise to get back to you as soon as I can, because I do have a day job, so I can't always get back to everybody right away, or just leave it down in the comment section. I generally try to get back to everybody as quick as I can, but hopefully that sheds a little bit of light as into this whole world of double-ended hooks. Yeah, I didn't want to make this too long, but I guess it went kind of long. Anyway, I will be back next week with a project, and let me kind of give you a preview for that, which, here, there we go. I'm going to cover everything. So here's the project we're going to be working on. It's going to be a small bag. I'll talk to you more about the yarn and the hook and everything like that next week, but here's a preview. And guess what? I'm using my Nitpal corded hook, but more on that once we actually do the project itself. So be on the lookout for that. This will be next week, and then I'm hoping, right there, to post more patterns. I was able to clear up a little bit of time, so hopefully I can post more patterns soon. But if there's anything you want to see pattern-wise, shoot me an email, leave it down in the comments, whatever you want to leave. But that was our video for today. Thank you so much for chatting and for shooting some questions over my way. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week with a new pattern. Bye!